Okay, technically we got in the middle of almost finished Aleph, Beis Aleph. I think we talked the Inyan till the end of the years. So the Nekuda, after the questions that the Alter Rebbe asks, is to explain the Inyan of Kaddish. The Inyan of Kaddish is that the Eibishter is Muvdal, the Eibishter is transcends, but the Vart is that to have two things, that one thing is separate from one thing is separate from another, so you don't need a marshal for that. That's obvious. You have one thing is completely separate. One is completely separate from another. The Vart of Kaddish is that from one side we say the Eibishter is Mahava and Mechaya, creates the world, it gives Chayis to the world. But Mitzad Sheni, that the world is not, has no effect on the Eibishter, meaning to say that there's no change, Lishanisi. To have both at the same time, Mitzad Echad is Yav Mahava Machaya. Mitzad Sheni, there's no effect on the Eibishter. The Hasis that he remains unaffected. We don't really have a mashal for that. That's something which is beyond our understanding, our grasp. It's not something that we see that we can really imagine. We said a mashal rechoika is we said by Daniel. It's not mamish, not mamish mechuven, but epis was. We could see that Daniel was the people that were with Daniel had felt the effects of the mechzev of what Daniel saw, even though they didn't see it. So he says mitzad echa, they felt the effect, so it was present for them. Mitzad sheni, they didn't see it. So that's a mashal. He says that mitzad echa, the Eibishter is mahava mechayev, and mitzad sheni, it has no, it doesn't affect the Eibishter in any way. Lishanisi, but it's not mamish, because over there was mazlayu chazi, even though they just weren't aware that mazlayu chazi. But akopanim, it's a main dogma of the Inyan. So the Alter Rebbe is Meirich in Aleph, the Inyan of the Inyan that we are aware of. He says we are aware in the mashal of the nefesh and the guf. So the nefesh, you have rish, guf and regel. So the reish guf, why is Alter Rebbe Meirich so much on the fact that there's a reish guf and regel? Because there you see how the nefesh remains outside the guf. How the nefesh is mislabish, how the nefesh is involved in the guf. And because it's involved in the guf, so you have the nefesh mitzad atzmei, there is no reish guf and regel. In other words, there's no distinction within the nefesh itself. You can't make a distinction of a reish guf and regel. Reish guf and regel is only the way the nefesh is involved in giving chayis to the guf. So you have this inyan of kedusha you have to bring out by understanding how it's involved with the creation being involved, that you have a welt, you have the chayis, the Eibishter creates a welt, and gives chayis to the world. Nevertheless, it remains completely lo shanisi. Here in Eis Beis, the Alter Rebbe is going to ask the other way. L'chura, we just said that we just said that you have by the nefesh. We said that the Eibishter is mahave the world, not like the nefesh and the guf. The nefesh and the guf, so the nefesh is actually affected by the guf. And that's why you have, in other words, that's the whole arichas. The nefesh is affected by the guf. You have the reish, the guf, and the raglayim. But the Eibishter is ein shinui. So why do we have different dargis in the world? Why do you have that there's different levels al derech that we said by the guf, that you have the reish, guf, and regel by the person, by the adam. So l'chura you have that by the olam also in Welt. So where does that? What it should be that everything should be the same. If the chayis is in such an ofen of ani violation isi, so then there should be no distinction whatsoever. That's what the Alter Rebbe deals with in Beis. V'amnam tzarech lavin shari b'briya se'ilim is yesh gam ken yischalkus madrigas in kids. Ki yidua b'ni nishtalshu se'ilim is geveya mal geveya gam ken hesis gam ken just like the nefesh. There's also yischalkus. Ki yidua b'ni nishtalshu se'ilim is geveya mal geveya shemer. וגם בעולם הזה הנראה עם חילוק המדרג is די מצומח חיים מדבר. So you have constantly, you have many different dargos. וגם בכלל, so that's בפרט, but בכלל הוא ישחלקס לגימל בחינס כללים. וכמו שכוסו ולכווי דיברסו יצרתי ואבא סיסיב. So this pasuk outlines the general ישחלקס in the Bria. The one level is barasiv, another level is yitzartiv, and then asisiv. Shein gimel elam is klalim, ubehem pratim rabbe, which is the Gan Eden Elyon, which is barasiv. That's in the bria. Gan Eden atachte is yitzira. For elam hazeh, that's in the asisiv. U'mamish al derech moshel k'ischal k'sachayish begufad, shemischalik bechlal gimel b'chinas reish guf regel. And Alter Rebbe is Meirich. And similar, the Indian of Aretz Adim Raglai, which is also the Indian of Regel. In other words, all of this brings out the fact that you do have Eschalkus, you do have different dargis. So having different dargis, the L'chura lends itself to the fact, like the Neshama and the Guf. וגן עדן התחתין הוא כמשל הגוף, ששם משכנה מידס בלב. וכך נועדת שהיא ספיר מכאן ביצירה. דהיינו ששם גילי מידי סב יסבורך חסד, וגם מכין חב"ד מסרב שמה מידס. וגן עדן העליין, the third level, the highest level, שם גילי בכינס חב"ד, just like by the nefesh and the guf, so the highest hasis is the reish. Gan Eden Elyon, which is Chabad, the Ein Sei Baruch Hu, the Neshama is Hayishim and Enem Ziv, Vu Kamel Derech Mashal Reish, Shebei Mishkan Asech. Is Melevas, we can move on Mizeh Shachayis and Emshach Manis Baruch Be'elemis, Gam Ken Mischalak B'Teichen L'Chiluk HaMadrigas, Kamel Derech Mashal Chayis HaMispashit Ba'Nefesh V'Guf Kenal. V'Yischalkus Nimshal Mitzad Yislapshus B'Kelim. That where is the Ischalkus? The Ischalkus mitzad Islapshus. Vim Kain. So what do we see? So what do we just say? The union of Kaddish. Kaddish means Eibush is transcendent. Hesis lo shanisi. Over here you have Nira Shachayis Nimshach Manis Baruch Gam Kim Mislabish B'Teichen. So that's Alter Rebbe asking. We were Keveya that the Eibush is Kaddish. Kaddish means that the Eibishter is completely transcendent. And now, what do we see? Mitzad mitzad the Olam, we see that the Eibishter is mislabish. V'haraya, that you have different targets. You have Rish, Guf, and Regel, just like you have in the person. And also v'chein nimtza, and we find also in the Gemara. The Gemara says, "Nimtza l'razal behedya shediba amshachas achayis min isbarach la'elam is the amshachas achayis min nefesh b'guf." That the Gemara makes this correlation between the Eibishter, the way the guf is mechayah the nefesh, the way the nefesh is mechayah the guf, and the way the Eibishter is mechayah the welt. V'uma shomer azal ma'akadosh baruch hu malei Yisrael ma'aven neshamim and malei es kol haguf. And nacharaya, this you find this correlation between the guf, the nefesh and the guf to the Eibishter and welt, chayis eliki and welt, u'v'medesh tilim al pasuk baruch hinavshi. So Amru, David HaMelech says, Ma nefesh, the Medrash says, Ma nefesh u'malis haguf, kach HaKadosh Baruch Hu malis ha'elam. The difference between what it says in Medrash Tilm and the Gemara is in the Gemara it says, Ma HaKadosh Baruch Hu malis ha'elam, afin ha'neshama maleis kol haguf. And the nefesh, in Medrash it says fakert. The Ma nefesh u'malis haguf, so too the Eibush is u'malis ha'elam. There's a distinction we're not going to go into, but that's from the Nekuda here is the same in Mitzad. This what the Alter Rebbe is. V'areinyan neshamim ala haguf u'b'chinas yislapshus u'tvisa mamish kanon. V'im kein midam in kein inyan yislapshus achayis min yisbara ba'elamis. So this is the question. V'zeh l'chura hafech masher yisbar do yisbar kodesh imut. U'mechayis elam shlo yidei yislapshus chas v'shalom. So it's basically challenging the Nekuda that we said, the whole union of Kaddish. Who klal gadol b'teira? This Indian of Kaddish is really is expressed in this, in what it says in Zohar. It's a similar who mekayme shleilam ve'en elam mekayme. Similar in Nekuda. He says the Eibush just transcended. That's the word. Achoinyin the vada yesh bechinas chayis hamislabish beilis b'pnimius mamish. That there is a chayis which is mislabish in the world, and that's which lends itself to all these things that we said before. Sai mitzad the Hesus Barasiv Yitzad Tevasisiv, and the Indian of Ma Kadosh Baruch Hu Malei Hafaneshama or Ma Neshama Malei Hakadosh Baruch Hu. That's all mitzad vas. Mischayis aklos b'chinas chayis zeh mislabish b'chinas zurak b'chinas ziva shchina levad. Ziv davke b'chinas anikar shchina v'u anikar gam kin memalei kolamin. So ziva shchina memalei kolamin. That's the Indian that gives the world, makes distinctions. Likutei Torah, Barasiv Yitzarti Vasisiv, etc. O pirush achayis shidimshach man yisbarach l'slabish b'teich ha'ilum es mamish hu rak b'mchinas ziv ara levad ma'ashchina baruch hu. Sheb'chinas ziv zeh hu animshach v'yisimala klamen. Obchinas islapshus v'yischalkus the chol olam kiyum adirgasa began in nelyin kach, etc., etc. V'hinei b'chinas ziv zeh shu b'chinas v'ma'ala kol almin hu anikra amadis galya b'zeh. He says, what's amadis galya? Amadis galya means that which we recognize. That just al derech mashal. Al derech mashal, when we say you know your nefesh, right? You know the nefesh. The nefesh itself, mitzad atzmei, is completely without any type of definition. We don't have any definition. You don't have in the nefesh. You don't have a reish, guf, and regel in the nefesh. The nefesh is completely beyond this distinction. What we see, How do we see the nefesh? We see the nefesh the way the nefesh is in guf, in the body, the way the nefesh gives chayis. Sai mitzad, the general chayis of guf, and sai mitzad, the way it gives the chayis in an eifin prati, by each specific koyach and each aver in the guf. So you're seeing, what are you seeing? You're seeing the nefesh, the way the nefesh is connected to the guf. You're not seeing the nefesh the way the nefesh is outside the guf, independent of the guf. You're seeing the nefesh the way the nefesh is. So al derech zeh, when we say that the Eibishter, the chayis that we're memsari echselika, that we're seeing the chayis aliki, we're seeing the chayis aliki that's alma d'izgalia. Hesis the chayis, which the way it is, mesyaches to Eilam, the way it is connected with the Eilam, the way it's involved with Eilam, but not the chayis, the way the chayis itself. Not that, just like you don't see the nefesh itself, you don't. So in this is what we're calling the ziv. This is ziv hashchina. The ziv hashchina hesis ha'ara only the way it is, but that's not the shchina. That's not the shchina itself.
So again, I will probably address it, but what's the difference between the nefesh and?
So we're saying the chayis. No, what we bring out here is that the chayis that we're referring to is the chayis the way it is in Welt is a chayis which is connected with is a chayis which is only a ziv, a ha'ara, but not the shchina alein. Mitzad the shchina alein, so that's completely removed. Hesis is completely transcends the Welt. We have this brings out the nekuda of why you have a distinction in the world itself between one darga and another. Barasiv, Yitzartiv, and Asisiv. But the emes echayis comes from Seviv. We're going to get to that. But over here, we're just bringing out where does the ischalkus come from? Where does the distinction come from? The distinction comes from only a ziv and a ha'ara.
How come you have these two different forms of Hashem's energy if Hashem is one? How could you have them be both Sev and both Malay?
The Eibishter is not we're not defining the Eibishter. We're only describing the way it is mitzad, how it appears the world. Yeah, we're not mitzad the Eibishter is echad. We're going to get to that.
The nefesh doesn't have the aspect of kaddish, of how it's only a ziv in the body. That's why there's a skalchus.
Oh, the nefesh. So that part of the nefesh itself, that remains removed. That's higher than the body.
So it's similar to
But the nefesh over here, we're saying that the emes echayis comes from seviv kolamin. The only thing is that mitzad echad we say that's emes echayis. Mitzad sheni it remains transcendent. But in nefesh we're saying that which is mesiachas to the guf. That's what you're recognizing. Avihine bechina ziv zeh shu bechina semalakamen hu anikra alma deizgalya bezeh v'atam ki al bechina zu nemer b'sari echzelika echze mamish ki ilu nire ba'ayin mamish bechina zgili. So he says that chayis that it's called alma deizgalya. He says that's what we can recognize. That's what we see. That's the chayis that we can have any type of description of saying that you know it. The inyan riyazuhi, this re'iyah that we say that you see the Eibishter. What is the pshat that you see the Eibishter? You see Hashem, the pshat is which is the whole mashal of ma nefesh, nemales haguf. That's what we're referring to. Hey, it's just like by the body, by the nefesh and the guf. You see that the nefesh is giving chayes to the guf. Without the nefesh, bistalkas the nefesh maguf, azay nasa guf peger kaever. It's a stone. Kenira belayla beis hashena. You could see this when you sleep. So even though it says we're sleeping is only a shishim, is a 60th, but you see the fact that when a person goes to sleep, so the functionality of the body is not there. He says there's only a small amount of chayis. The fact that you see when a person sleeps is only a small amount of chayis, and even more so when a person passes away. So the body remains is like a stone. So you see clearly that there's a chayis. There's something that gives the nefesh, that gives the body its life. So you don't know what it is. We can't describe it because it's not a gashmistic thing, but we can see its effects. The effects that we see, that's what Amud is Galia means. That's what's revealed. What's revealed is seeing the effect of that of that which is of that which we're observing. But
so in the nimshal, then what does that mean? Seeing
so we're seeing the effect. So we're seeing that the world is a levitic place, is alive. It's it's created. It exists. So that gives you that's an indicator that clearly expresses the chayis that is within the world. But that only gives you an indicator, a realization, an awareness of the chayis which is invelt, that we can recognize, but not it doesn't give us an indicator of the chayis hamiti hesis soviv kalam.
That's also directly powering the world.
Yeah, that's fakir. That's what really gives gives the world its kiyum. So let's shein on reim bein riyah. Mohusa nefesh echumai. So we don't see it mamish. Mikol mokim neida v'nirgash lanu shanefesh melubeshes beguf. Why shari nira lanu pe'uleiseh? Its effect. Shaguf chai mimenu. Shari mitzad atzmei agufu ke'even. It's like a stone. Listalek hanefesh mimenu. When there's no nefesh. V'imkein hanefesh hi b'bchinas gilu mamish etzleinu. So the nefesh is begilu. Shenira lanu inyan is slapchus hanefesh beguf. Af al pi she'ein amohus musig v'nira mau. V'kach mamish echzelikah. So the same is mipsari. That's the mipsari aspect. The echzelika shaniroyim beinenu po'oloi hanira she'olam hu guf gadol chai ubehechach shesh b'em chayis amachayisam. So that what's giving it chayis? Commissioned lanu hanefesh ha'idei po'olo hanira baguf u'kamosh shaniroyim achayis she'be'olam hazeh. Just as we see it and we observe it mitzad our vantage point, mitzad the chayis in the olam hazeh, so too all the olamis, the nivroim of that olam also recognize the chayis mitzad the effect of the chayis. וזהו, מבשרי אכזליקה, מבשרי דווקא, כמוש, מבשרי. אני מרגיש ואיך זה הנפש שנסעת בי. So you feel that from yourselves, כך אכזליקה. He is slabshus achayis, b'bchinas u'maleklam. So this is the chayis, which is a malakam nimshach mein tzei baruch hu, betech Yisrael es mamish, k'moish haneshama maleis kol haguf. So the chayis there, so this chayis, bichlal, he says, the awareness of the chayis, that you see its effect, so in general we divide it into three categories. Rosh, guf, and regel. וכך חי זה משחלק לגיל בבחינת כללים, גן עדן העליין וגן עדן התחתון ולמעשה. ולכן נקרא בבחינת ממלא כללים. That's what's pshat ממלא. ממלא is alma disgalia, that which is recognized, that which we see and we observe and we are aware of as a result of its effects. So now the Alter Rebbe, now he makes the distinction, he says, between ממלא and seviv. Bechin and Gimel. Bechin is Chai Zanim Shal Bechin is V'Malek Kalamin as Hurak Orav Ziv Ba'alma. That's only Ziv HaShechina. Aval Hu Yisbarech Atzmei. So on Ziv HaShechina, so we're saying it's that is what is recognized. That's what you see when we see the Chayis. Aval Hu Yisbarech Atzmei Ukadosh Amuvdu. She'eine mislabish chas v'shalom b'teich ha'elemis. It's not mislabish. What do you mean it's not mislabish teich ha'elemis? He says to say that it's nitfas, to say that it has, that it becomes affected, that it becomes defined by. Hislapshus means when you say hislapshus, we mean that which is mislabish, that which is enclosed, becomes defined by that which encloses it. By the Eibishter, that's the word here. He doesn't become defined by it. He says he's not limited by it. So even bizman, even though there's a creation, he says the Eibishter creates the world and gives chayis to the world, but he doesn't become defined by it, which is the same nekuda. That's what we're emphasizing the whole time. Hu kadosh umuvdil she'einu mislabesh chas v'shalom b'teich ha'elemis ve'af gam b'chinas ha'chayis hanimshach man yizbar lahachis ha'elemis. So ikar ha'chayis einu mislabesh b'teich klal. Ela mechayu mahaves and shelo yidei hislapshus. V'zo b'chinas seviv klal. So the Ikar Chayis is not mislabish, not seviv klamen. V'zeu shenizbar le'il shachayis shu yizbarach mechaye lamis eine kedimian shanefesh mechayis aguf. So it's not the same thing like a nefesh and a guf. Ki hu yizbarach mechaye son ap al pi she'einu mislabish b'teichon rak b'chinas seviv v'makif alein. So it remains, seviv means it's transcendent. So it's only a ziv and a ha'ara. V'nikra ziv ha'shchina kana. And so, mele, since it's only a ziv, he says it's not mislabish, v'hilkach ein shayach b'shum shina idei abriya. And that's why there's no shinui. The neshama is affected by the guf. Lefi shemuhu sivatzmusei mislabeshes baguf. Ve'ilizos muvan shebechinas seviv kalamin by ein shayach ischalkas seviv. That's how we say seviv. Seviv means to be sholel the inyan of reish guf and regel. Milo mata kivan sheinu mislabish be'elemis. V'zeu shekasuv. I mean, the Alter Rebbe is going to talk about it. We started last time. The Alter Rebbe talked about the Indian mitzad which we brought down from Tzemach Tzedek, the Indian of ונקדשתי, which is the pasuk that relates to our parsha, is the Indian of Mesiras Nefesh. What's the Indian of Mesiras Nefesh? So whether it means Mesiras Nefesh b'peil or Mesiras Nefesh b'koyach, Zera says the Indian of Kedusha, right? When we say Kaddish, 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 that's the Indian of Mesiras Nefesh, but Mesiras Nefesh b'koyach. The potential that you're ready to go on Mesiras Nefesh, but not that we're being mamshich, we're bringing down the kedusha of the Eibishter in the world, like the Indian of Mesiras Nefesh. Mesiras Nefesh is b'poel mamish. A person gives up his life. So in mitzad, the fact that a person gives up his life. So what's the nekuda? What's the Indian of Mesiras Nefesh? The Indian of Mesiras Nefesh is to go out of your mitzias, to go out of yourself. Who doesn't want to live? Life, over here we're describing the nefesh and the guf. So that is when we say, for example, the Indian of Avos Hashem, ki hu chayecha. This is two different. This is the Mesiras Nefesh. There is Mesiras Nefesh and serving the Eibishter in mitzad gidrei, mitzad your day-to-day life is like the difference between Avos Hashem, loving the Eibishter, mitzad ki hu chayecha. So you recognize that the true life is alikus, is not gashmis. So one recognizes that. So he pursues the fact in every way that he wants to serve the Eibishter, Torah, mitzvahs, and everything. Mitzad the fact, ki hu chayecha. But ki hu chayecha, such a level of Avos Hashem is connected with the mitzias of the Welt, the mitzias Adam. Sai mitzad, he says, Sai mitzad the hisbanenus, when you have ava, so you have the ava is the midah, is the emotion, the outcome. But mitzad the hisbanenus, that which he's thinking about, and he's being that brings out the hafla seinin, the beauty of that which of the hisbanenus of what he's thinking about. When someone thinks about something that is good, so that it brings about the goodness of that which he's thinking about when it gets transferred into the lev, so that brings a mashicha. He wants that. It's a good thing. So the hisbanenus aspect of the gudskeit of elikos is in this level of ava ki hu chayecha, is he's thinking about the Eibishter, how the Eibishter is the true chayes of the world. So what does that translate? The gudskeit, when he thinks about that goodness, how does that translate into the heart? So he has a mashicha. He's drawn to what? To serve the Eibishter. He realizes that's the truth, and everything else, gashmias and other things, is not true. It's not. It's not important. It's insignificant. V'chulu v'chulu. But that's all how it's connected with his mitzias. In other words, that's all how he sees godliness the way it is within the world, or in the lashon that we just learned, that's in Memale Kalaman. The Indian of Mesiras Nefesh that we're talking about here, the mitzvah of ונקדשתי, the mitzvah of Mesiras Nefesh, or even the Indian of Mesiras Nefesh b'koyach, which is the Indian of kedusha that we say here. We're the hisbanenus is here. It's the awareness is coming from a different place. The awareness is coming from the level of the Eibishter, the way the Eibishter is Kaddish, recognizing that the Eibishter is not ki hu chayecha, that's the mitzias ha'elam. Fakert, that mitzad that awareness, so there's no mitzias. There's no mitzias of the world.
Which one is this?
So the Indian of Mesiras Nefesh is coming from a place that he recognizes how the Eibishter transcends any violation. You see, transcends the world, and mitzad that, so it's b'meile. it doesn't lend itself to his mitzias either. It's a mitzias, even a mitzias of a level of kiyu chayecha, even that level, which is the Eibishter as the chayis of Welt, that also it transcends that also. There's a mele, it brings about a mesiras nefesh b'peil mamash. Mele brings about when a person, where does it play out? It plays out in either in a mesiras nefesh, when a kiddush Hashem, literally when a person gives up his life. So you see, his mitzias doesn't hold back. It's a declaration, he says, that the Eibishter, there's nothing else besides the Eibishter. So that's the practical aspect. In Avodah, that's the practical aspect that we're talking about here. We're talking in Memale and Seviv, but the Indian Bepoil, we're talking about the Indian of Mesiras Nefesh. It comes from a place which is beyond the Metzias of Welt. And that's the mitzvah. That's the mitzvah of ונקדשתי. Yeah, what were you saying?
I thought maybe the Ahva is more stronger to be with the Ahva or stronger with the Chai, like in the Ebrish Chai. Which one is more stronger?
Which one? What?
You do. With the Ahva, when you say
the love, Ava?
yeah. So
Kiyu chayecha.
but with the other side, realizing the Chai of the Ebrish Chai. So
The Chayis?
Yeah. So it brings you. So which one is more stronger to with the you know.
I'm trying to.
So there is two ways. The way you told us, there is two ways with the Ahva and with the Chai realizing
Well,
the Chai, and they realizing the Ahva.
You see this more, just to bring it out. In the Nefesh Bahamis and the Nefesh Likis. Right? The Nefesh Bahamis is all about itself. I mean, you see the same point in the way it is in many different ways, but you bring out the Nefesh Bahamis, its core is its yesh, its own existence, and therefore it seeks always for its own pleasure, v'chula v'chula. It all comes from that nikuda. By the Nefesh Bahamis, its kiyum, its mitzias is a behema. It feels its mitzias, and Umele, it's like a child who the only one that exists is the child. No, he can't see anything outside, right? The more that's also the world of midas. Midas is more about the mitzias Adam is connected with midas. Seichel, in its core, Seichel allows you to go outside of yourself. But even Seichel is still connected with the Metzias Adam. It just allows you to go outside of that, not like Midas does. So everything is Lefi Erech, is relative. So Nefesh Bahama is relative to Nefesh Elikis. Within the Nefesh Elikis itself also is relative mitzad, the avodah of the Ava, Kiyu Chayecha, which is connected with the Nefesh, the Nefesh Elikis, als recognizing and connecting with the Likus, the way it is connected with the person, with the Nivra. So that's Kiyu Chayecha. So it's connected with that awareness.
With that.
And then Mashenkin, Mesiras Nefesh is to go outside oneself.
You could see it leading to Mesiras Nefesh as well, but it's not the same idea of Mesiras Nefesh as it's coming from, say, I still maybe would, someone maybe have a serious nefesh, even if he's only relating to Eibishter about because without Eibishter, then my life's worth nothing. Then I'm ready to give my life for
Right, but over here, what's the
driving force.
The driving force is the fact that they.
What's the second way that Mesiras Nefesh expresses itself? If it's not the ultimate, the actual Mesiras Nefesh, is Avodah is Mesiras Nefesh?
Yeah, but it's not only in a situation.
Saying from Seiv. From
yeah,
Seiv. So either there's.
It's not only in a situation where a person is.
What's the other way to express itself?
On a daily basis, the way, for the mashal, the way they lived in Russia, the way they would go to Malamed would go and be Moshe Nefesh Mamish to do.
Also these days, anytime we put aside other relatives for
yeah, so in a certain aspect, absolutely. What's that? Yeah, Be'echad, yeah. Okay, that's an Nekuda. There's so much more here, but that's Alter Rebbe, the way usually you don't have this elaboration in the Maimer. It's Mamish Nekuda, so here the Alter Rebbe elaborates a lot more than.
Shkach.